Hello and welcome to another week of Sambo iRacing. We're in the Porsche GT3 Cup car at Road Atlanta, full for another track guide. So on the hot lap, at the edge of the grass, we brake up to about 50%, we trail it off, drop it down to fourth gear, back over to the right hand side, come off the gas, little on the brakes, tiny dab on the brakes again, in third, confidence lift, back on the power, up to fourth gear, over to the left hand side, another lift around here, back on the power, up to fifth gear up the hill. Starting to brake just before the curbing, down to third gear, exiting nice and wide through turn 5. Really important that you do that. As we go up the hill, looking for the 200 meter marker, braking up to about 70% all the way down to third gear. Nice and wide entry here into turn 7, down to second gear, gently back on with the power, again to arrest any slide with the rear. And now this is where we relax. Think about how we're going to absolutely nail turn 10. Let me do our hair. For Louis Foster, we can brush our moustache, looking for the 100 meter board, or just before then, all the way down to second gear. Little lift up to third gear as we go up the hill. Cutting it tight at the top, but giving yourself plenty of room to be able to cut the corner and go over and across the line in a 1:20.130. Right, we've got the breakdown lap to come, and then after that, driving line without me talking. Okay, let's charge through the breakdown lap. Right, so first braking marker, the end of this grass on the left-hand side. So as we get there, we're going to brake up to about 50%, wipe that speed off, trail it off down to the apex. We've dropped it down to 5th, down to 4th. And now at the apex, we're going to start building back up on the power. We get up to full power as soon as I start taking some of that steering angle off. Just holding it round. We get to the top of the crash. We're in 4th gear. We're going to leave it in 4th. And then we're going to come off the gas. We're going to brake only up to about 25%. We're going to hit this first curbing on the left-hand side. Now, as we do that, we're going to brake slightly harder for the second turn here in turn 3. Dropping it down to third gear, we start getting back on the power as we're cutting the curb, and then we try and get back up to full power as soon as possible. We're now going to have to do a little confidence lift. We go into 4th gear, over to the left-hand side, and again, we need a confidence lift here so that we can actually make it through the second part of turn 4 here, this downhill right-hander. Up to 5th gear. We're now going to brake just before the curbing coming up ahead of us. We're going to try and brake in a straight line up to 40%, wipe that speed off, going to trail it off down to this apex. We're in 3rd gear and we're going to start building back up on the throttle. We can't just plant our foot because we don't have any traction control. Right, the 200 meter board on the left hand side is our marker here. So as we get there, we're going to brake up to about 70%. I'm going to drop it all the way down to 3rd gear and start building back up at the apex in turn 6. Nice wide entry here into turn 7, looking to get over to the left-hand side of the track. And as soon as we do, we're going to start braking. So as you can see here, we get over to the left-hand side, we'll start braking up to about 55%. I'm going to trail that off, drop it down into 2nd. We're going to start feeding the power back on at the apex, as you can see. But we can't go up to 100% until we straighten that wheel. And now we can do it. We want a nice wide exit of turn 7 using the curbs. If you can't see the brake bias, it's minus 6.5. Right, and then our next braking marker is just before the 100 meter board. So as you can see, it's actually about midway between the 200 and the 100, sorry. And we're going to brake up to about 75-80%, wipe that speed off in the straight line, as we always do, all the way down to 3rd gear before we start our turn-in. Now trailing off the brakes, we've dropped it down into 2nd gear. Now at the apex, as you can see here, we're cutting it slightly. We get up, big blip of full throttle, and then we do a lift, and then back up to full throttle as soon as we can. Change up to 3rd gear. Quite straightforward, the final corner. And over and across the line. So 1:20.130, we have the driving line version coming up next without me talking. Enjoy.